How's it gangin', dudes? My name is Sean and welcome back to my channel where we like to poke a little fun at the mainstream media, but today we don't have to do that. Today it's going to be all about Andrew Yang because Andrew Yang releases his healthcare plan. And oh man, is it beautiful. It destroys Medicare for all. It really does. I mean, only because of the fact that I'm not saying Medicare for all is a bad idea. I support it in theory, but when half the population, and depends on the poll you look at, more tend to lean against Medicare for all, and on top of that, 13% of the economy that's in the insurance companies, stuff like that, will just be without a job. You know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, it's not really going to lower costs that much at all, just with the basic bureaucracy put in place, right? So presidential candidate Andrew Yang introduces healthcare plan aimed at lowering cost and expanding coverage. Key points: entrepreneur and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang released a healthcare plan Monday that focuses on lowering costs and expanding coverage. Boom. His plan also seeks to expand healthcare into rural areas using technology, as well as integrating mental health checkups into a primary care. Oh my God, this is huge because 100% it will curb the gun violence. Most of the gun violence, people out there who's committing gun violence is mentally ill. It's not because they have access to a gun. If they had access to a knife, they'd do the same thing. And you can make the argument, well, a knife could kill those people. Well, guess what? If nobody's willing to act, or it takes 10 minutes for the cops to get there, somebody could destroy a bunch of people with a knife, a baseball bat, a lawnmower. You fill in the blank, a football. You could hurt people with that. Doesn't mean you outlaw it, right? I mean, maybe that's the conservative coming out in me, but mental health is huge. It's huge. And even with Medicare for all, it's just a mandate. It's everybody gets covered. It doesn't mean that costs are going to go down. It doesn't mean that, rural areas are going to have access to the same healthcare that we do in larger cities. I mean, mental health checkups into primary care, that is huge. We're not even on to the third bullet yet. Yang denounced all of the intra-party bickering over Medicare for all. The plan backed by Democratic progressive candidates Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and less expensive plans backed by more moderate candidates, the Medicare for all who wanted type bullcrap from, most people. So entrepreneur and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate released a healthcare plan Monday morning that focuses on lowering costs and expanding coverage. Yang denounced all intra-party bickering for Medicare for all. I love reading that. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Oh man. So human-centered capitalism it's huge, man. It's huge. It really is. We are spending too much time fighting over the differences between Medicare for all who want it, and the ACA expansion, when we should be focusing on the biggest problems that are driving up costs and taking lives, he said in an announcement posted on his website. Instead, Yang said plans should focus on lowering healthcare costs. That should be the driving factor. There's nothing wrong with capitalism-free market, as long as it's competitive to driving costs, not making it go up. Just having a Medicare for all, one-size-fits-all plan for everybody doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work. It's going to create a huge bureaucracy, more red tape, long waiting lines. There are times where you cannot have your same doctor because that same doctor just either stopped his practice because of the way it is. He's not making as much money. It's the problems with a Medicare for all system in a huge capitalist country like America is just, they're overwhelming. Not to say that it couldn't happen. It's just that with all the money we're spending on our military, all the money that it just gets funneled to big corporations and stuff like that, we have too much corruption in our political system for even something like this to even begin to take root with the mainstream populace Americans. That's just me being a realist. I'm not against Medicare for all. I think it's a great, wonderful idea. And in 2016, I championed Bernie for that. As a person who didn't have any healthcare coverage or anything like that. I still don't. But yeah, man, it's just, I love Yang, man. He's killing it, dude. He's killing it. He offered a 6-pronged approach, tackling the root problems, our broken healthcare system, according to his website. That includes lowering prescription drug prices, investing in technology, expanding healthcare in rural areas, expanding mental health care, offering flexibility to providers, diminishing the influence of lobbyists. All of these things right here is all the key things that Medicare for All is supposed to cure, except for a couple of these things like mental health care. I mean, it might expand it, but it's definitely not going to expand it as the way Yang is going to. Diminishing the influence of lobbyists. Medicare for All does not do that. It does not do that. The lobbyists are going to find a new way for the pharmaceutical companies to make more money. Lowering prescription drug prices. Oh my God. Like, all this stuff is what Medicare is supposed to do. We can actually keep the same system we have and make it the same benefits that Medicare for All will give us. Yang is brilliant, man. He is. I mean, I know I'm biased, but good Lord. He's just demolishing the competition right now with this. To lower prescription medication costs, Yang's plan to give his administration the authority to negotiate drug prices and use standard international price reference points, which would pressure pharmaceutical companies. Yes, it would. If you can take insulin and you can jack it up sky high, and everywhere else in the world it's not that sky high, boom. You know what I mean? There's a law that he could put in place that say, no, you have to make it somewhat equivalent, right? Boom. That's one of the main things Bernie Sanders wants to fix with the Medicare for All plan. He wants to be able to control that. This does that with a capitalistic way that will drive costs down with competition. The entrepreneur also wants to integrate mental health checkups into primary care and bring down the cost of HIV and AIDS treatment. God, man, he is killing it, dude. He's killing it. Large parts of his plan are also devoted to expanding healthcare coverage in rural areas by investing in technology that allows for patients to receive services in places where doctors aren't abundant. He will push for licensing laws that allow doctors to treat patients in multiple states. We should invest in expanding existing technologies to reach those in undeserved areas, Yang said, especially as 77% of rural counties that are considered rural primary care deserts. 9% of which have no physicians at all. Yang also addresses the influence of large lobbyist groups in politics. He will raise the salaries of government officials to bar them from transitioning into the private sector that they regulated. Oh my God. You want to talk about getting big money out of politics? Yang. Oh, dude, if I wasn't sold now, I challenge anybody to find a freaking flaw in this plan. I challenge you. So let's move on. To prevent the influence of industry lobbyists in my administration. Yang. Bro. It's like the heavens opened up and a big bright ray of sunshine with Andrew Yang's face, and it just shines down across humanity. Yang last week became the final person to qualify for the upcoming debate on Thursday, and the last one of the year. He will stand as the only person of color amid what was once a crowded field with greatest diversity of candidates ever running for president. He consistently hovered between 3 and 5% support in national polls. Okay. And I've seen it as up to 7% in some polls, and one poll that they didn't count was 11%. So just wanted to issue a little correction there. But holy cow! I don't know how to explain how important this is, man. With a healthcare plan like this, with these very specifics, even Bernie Sanders doesn't have intra-specific policy details inside his Medicare for All plan. He wrote a bill. The bill was bland, just the way it is. It was Obamacare light, pretty much. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I challenge anybody to find something wrong with this plan. He is literally trumping, pardon the expression, trumping everybody. You know what I mean? Like this dude. Oh. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless at this point. I guess we can finish it off by saying, we did it. 2 million raised, and it's all thanks to you. Boom, boys. Over 2 million. He had to extend it by a day. And I just think it's because we're all small, donation-driven campaign. You know, almost everybody's under $200. And their individual donations, right? And Yang had an extended deadline by a day, but he smashed it. He smashed it like he always does. Now, I would say that I know we're trying to get to 30 million, and we're there. You know what I mean? We're pretty much there. But I would say if I was Yang, I would start putting the goals down just a little bit smaller, or expanding the time frame, just because we're all small donations, and you know it takes all of us to get a paycheck and stuff like that. Like I still got merch money that is tied up in AdSense that I'm waiting to get deposited into my account so I can give Yang the money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it takes a while for us to get some of the money. We're all poor. We're all part of the, wanting that freedom dividend. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But I'm just so happy. Andrew Yang demolishes the competition with. He just, oh man. Yang, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it. You gotta keep up this fight, man. You are President Andrew Yang, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. So make sure you smack a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if this video gets demonetized, I might open a Patreon. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4.